Welcome to Build Better Teams, the podcast for leaders who want to improve collaboration, strengthen communication, and create real alignment inside their teams. Here we explore team building strategies, leadership development, and hands-on approaches like Lego Serious Play that help teams think, build, and solve problems together. Let's get started so you can lead more effective, aligned, and engaged organizations. Have you watched the new series on Netflix called Company Retreat? We recently watched it, and it is absolutely hilarious and wildly uncomfortable at the same time. Now, the first season of this show was called Jury Duty, where they had actors playing all the parts on a jury, and one person on the jury was an unknown regular citizen who did not know that they were on a reality show. It was quite funny. So this new version, this new season is called Company Retreat, and it's about someone who gets hired at this company to help assist in running this retreat. Someone new to the company, and that person is the unknown hero of the show, the person who doesn't know they're on a reality show. Meanwhile, everyone else who works at this company are actors. This show does a great job in accidentally highlighting something really important about workplace culture and team building. And for me, as someone who facilitates team workshops and leadership company retreats for organizations, I found myself watching it thinking, this is exactly why traditional corporate retreats often miss the mark. So today I want to talk about what the show gets right about employee engagement and overall team dynamics, and why active participation matters so much more than passive experiences. If you haven't seen the show, don't worry about it. The basic premises is this. One unsuspecting employee thinks he's attending a normal corporate retreat as a new employee, except everyone around him is actually an actor. Throughout the series, you see all the classic retreat moments. You see the awkward icebreakers, the strange keynote speakers that literally have nothing to do with the company or what they do. You see those forced bonding exercises. You see team building chaos. There's leadership drama. There's corporate buzzwords everywhere. And all of the employees are smiling, but extremely uncomfortable. And then the one new person, the normal citizen who doesn't know he's on a reality show, is looking at everyone like, I'm just trying to keep the peace here. It's a new job, and I'm not going to give my input. Basically, this show highlights offsites that most employees secretly dread. But underneath the comedy, there's something kind of interesting I noticed. And that's that the moments that actually create connection in the show are not the stage presentations. They're actually the interactive moments. Because these actors, yes, they're acting and they have loose scripts, but they are improving. They are going through the beats and they're following what this unsuspecting reality person is doing. So it's a really interesting premise. Definitely check it out if you're interested. The point of me making this episode is to highlight the fact that the moments where people are solving problems together, they are reacting and they are creating, and that's where trust starts building. That's why I believe that the best team building workshops are active. They're not passive. The show highlights those moments when you're forced in a room together and someone is speaking at you with slides, and sometimes you look at each other and you say, I have no idea what this person is talking about or how this is going to affect me in my work with my team. These meetings happen more times than not. This is exactly why methodologies like the Lego Serious Play method or improv workshops, storytelling sessions, this is why these types of more creative workshops are so effective, because they require participation. When teams can physically build ideas with Lego, they're not just listening to information. They are actively contributing to the conversation, to the event. When teams do improv exercises, they are learning adaptability and communication and trust. If you go back and listen to episode 11, I really dive into the different ideas of creative workshops and events that are possible for corporations, and really why I believe that that is the way of the future, of getting your team off of screens and into actively participating. These experiences work because they shift people out of that spectator mode of just watching. No, instead of watching, you are getting into it. You are laughing with your coworkers. You're actually moving and doing things. You're building with your hands. You're engaging and laughing. And you're bringing all of that back to what the goals of the company are, what you're working on as a team, and what you can do in your day to day a little bit better after. So when a retreat simply adds more sitting or listening, it doesn't feel energizing and it feels like work in a new location. The best retreats create shared experiences, and that helps your employees start creating stories and they talk, and then they will actually talk about it afterwards. When they're back in their office or they're back home working on their laptops, they will have stories from their experiences because they weren't just listening. They were doing something fun, out of the box, and different. They aren't going to remember that wonderful, amazing PowerPoint presentation. They are going to remember how they felt because they were involved in the activity. That's the real takeaway I had watching Company Retreat. Because underneath all the absurdity of this reality show, it really highlighted something real. And that is that when teams connect through participation, not presentations, everything changes. Everything changes for the better. So if you are planning a leadership retreat, a company offsite, or a team building event, here is my encouragement. I want you to think beyond passive programming. So when you're thinking about your speakers, your workshops, your activities, think beyond just someone talking at your team. Ask yourself, how can people interact? How can people build? How can they collaborate? How can they problem solve? How can they create together? How can you, as the organizer or executive in charge, decide what you want to bring to this event that is going to be memorable? That is where engagement lies. There are so many options and really creative ideas. This way, you're not stuck doing the same. I have a speaker at this time. We're going to do trust falls at this time. You want to make it memorable, out of the box, creative, and actually lead to change after the event. All right, my friend, that is my soapbox for today. And if you want to watch Company Retreat, head over to Netflix and have a few laughs. But for now, I am your host, Shannon Russell, signing off for this episode of the Build Better Teams podcast. I'll talk to you soon. Make it a great day.